Let's go through all coins, 15 swing coins that we have in the list, starting with APT as usual, alphabetical order. Okay, this is downtrend and it is still downtrend, right? From a technical point of view, but this is nice second green week. And we can see that it reacted near the support. All the prior supports are going to be resistance, not necessarily point of rejection, but it's not going to let it pass through easily. So we are fine. Um, as I said, every day, if you are going to judge, then it's going to be tricky, right? Let's understand. So if you focus on the trend, this is a counter trend, by the way. What is counter trend? There's a main trend, which is, let's say, up, and then there is a counter trend. Counter trend usually retrace, let's say, half of 50% or sometime a little more than 50%. Or some, and if it has good momentum, then it may not even correct for 50%, right? In this case, of course, it was little more than 50. Anyways, but if you look at the current week, it is recovering quickly. However, it happened earlier as well. If you look at this one, this is comparable to this one as well, where the second week was green. This was also amazing. This was also good when it started. So this is, we cannot say that this has reversed or this the counter trend is over, I believe. So that's why we have this green level, which one cannot forget about it. Okay, technically speaking. And it doesn't mean that there's no opportunity, but it simply means that this counter trend is not over yet. Okay, it has to close above this required level, then we can say counter trend is complete from technical point of view. Atom, nice looking bounce. Okay, we can see that briefly consolidated here and then moving up is amazing. So once it above this line, which I mentioned last time as well, around 11.5 plus, then it's good, right? This is still good. This is not even a warning. Closing below, this was bad one, but it retraced and returned back to this zone. If you look at it, if it would have gone down near, then that situation would have created some trouble, but this was okay. So this is recovering fast. And if you look at the big picture, this is a deeper one and kind of a retest of this low, not all the way, but double bottom scenario. Some double bottom, not always the bottom where the leg would match the prior low. It could, if it has good momentum, it may not go all the way. Sometime equal and sometime lower. That is also double bottom. So there are three flavors. This leg could remain above and then goes up, could match equally and goes up, or make a new low slightly and then goes up. These are the three typical scenarios of double bottom. Right, so this is very positive. EOX, similarly, if this is a double bottom, a second scenario, you can say this low match this low, right? So this is, and if you especially when you compare closing, you'll understand what I mean. Okay, so look at this. So looking good. It is back to the S2 level, which is very encouraging, right? We would like to see it closing 22, something like 22 would be the best position. Then we can say it is out of the channel, because right now it has been going down. It is like it has been sliding. Remember, this was also amazing move. I'm not being pessimistic. There's no, these terms are not in my dictionary. Pessimism, optimism is not in my dictionary. I'm, you may say I go by the rule or TA levels. I have no emotional terms in my dictionary, because that's how it is. The science that we follow here has no words like hope, I'm expecting this, you know, any nothing like no wishful thinking. Okay, there are levels. It's like a pendulum, as I often say. I try to simplify. There's a pendulum. There are weights on both the sides, left and right. Which side it weigh depends on how much weight you add on. So there's always about balance, and the balance changes. And here it's not just one level, unlike pendulum, but the supports levels, which gives you incremental idea that how the balance is changing. And you may consider that green level is the center point where it's equilibrium. It's at equilibrium, right? And then above green, then upside will weigh more than the downside. Right now, the downside weighing more. Simple, right? But since it is changing the way, we can say this is good. So good is with specific perspective that it is improving. That's why it's good. If you look at this downtrend, it is still downtrend. It is still a big consolidation within this channel. So from a big picture point of view, this was the high, this is low, this is low. What is good? That there is no new low. So that is good. So the good is very subjective. But once it is here, then it is different. Then we can say that this bottom, it has bottom, we can say that, and potentially, and now looking for new trend. So that's the difference. BNB under pressure, fundamental problems it has to face and still facing. So this coin is always going to be vulnerable unless and until, I would say, the court case is settled, because this technically, if you look at it, it hasn't made new low, right? If you focus on closing, so this is still consolidation zone. So since June, we can say this is the low and this is the high, and this is your trading range. In technical term, this is called trading range, by the way. So some traders who are short-term traders would consider this as a boundary, this as a boundary, and consider this as zone. So maybe I'll change the zone to this one from a closing point of view for your visible, and then make another zone like this, right? I should have different color, orange for resistance, like this. So you see that this is lower support, this is resistance zone, this is support. So this is how one could visualize. And then what traders do, this is not financial advice, but short-term trader try to take advantage of this, where they consider, okay, this is my current price, this is the zone, and this is the boundary zone. If it closes below this, then I have to get out. And but if it starts rising, then this is my entry, and then this is probably a point book profit booking. If the time horizon is short term, short term is not in terms of days. Short term means it's not about the trend, it is about specific zone. So in that case, a trader would trade only for this much. Whether that happens in 1 week, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, it doesn't matter, because it's not known to anyone. It's not going to be known to anyone. The idea is to know the zones. And then, so this is also, so this is a trading range, we call in technical terms. And the short-term traders would take advantage of this if can time well, right? And first of all, the pattern has to be identified. And here I'm I'm, uh, I'm highlighting basically. So that's how it is. Okay. And of course, the trend-based swing trader could go beyond. And those who are super conservative would not enter here, but would enter on breakout, because that person would think that since June, for last 1 year, if it is in this zone, if it hasn't moved or gain anyway. So if I am that person who wants a long term, if I enter here, nice, but then what? Reset, then a bounce, nice, then a reset. So basically, is my portfolio growing? No. Answer is no. Whose portfolio is growing? Maybe the one who is trading with a range. This one, shorting, longing, shorting, longing. So this strategy, different traders, different strategy. So I'm a swing trader who focus on the long-term trend, multi-month trend. Probably I will not get, because there is no return of investment for this coin. And this is not about BNB. And okay, I'm talking about any coin that has similar setup. My thought as a trader would go in like this. Again, this is not financial advice by any means, but I'm just throwing some methods. So just to give example using BNB, right? So if someone who is conservative long-term trade would not buy BNB here, would buy something else which is trending. So BNB is not trending. This is so the swing trader has to understand that swing trader will always get into things or asset which is trending. Remember, right? And range-based trader would just get into this, because that trader knows that these are the boundaries. This is one boundary, this is second lower boundary, and so on. That's how planning happens. BNB is just an example. Okay, Doge. Doge is similar. You see why I took BNB. So what I said on BNB, same is applied. You'd see you're not going to see the same shape. Like this shape is totally different. But understand the method. So this is bouncing, and as far as this pattern is concerned, this is more like a spring, like a very narrow range. You see, and potentially this is going to happen. When this pattern will invalidate it, when this support is broken, when the red zone is broken, right? Then this pattern is invalidated. If otherwise, it will go for R1. That's Doge. EGLD very similar to, I think, AVAX coin. We saw almost like, if you look at this, look at this descending channel, right? EGL is similar. So what I'm trying to highlight that Doge is very similar to BNB. When I say this, don't say that I'm saying for the current pattern and current setup. Don't say that after 6 months, Doge is similar to BNB, because they could be very different. Okay, what I'm saying is good for this setup and particular pattern that or zone that I'm highlighting. So when I say EGLD is same, very similar to AVAX, it's for this current setup which I'm highlighting. Otherwise, you will say, oh, me is telling that EGLD is same as AVAX. Not forever, not forever. Okay, just clarification. What I'm trying to say is, no matter how many coins are there, whether there are thousands of coins, but when you look at the pattern, there are not that many patterns. You can deduce number of patterns into few. Trust me. And I'm showing some examples, so it will develop your, those who are interested in I'm not saying everybody would have that interest, but I wouldn't know who all, but some of you would be very interested in learning TA and all. And I teach TA. I don't have course say this is the chapter, but when you attend this call, you end up getting something new. And that's the method I use. I narrate what is happening, and as part of that narration, I end up sharing something which could be related to risk management, which could be related to trade best practices, which could be related to TAs like resistance, support, volatility, or so many other aspects, right? Or life cycle consolidation, uptrend, downtrend, and so on, recursive, I mean, fractals, and so many other aspects. So I don't label and say this video is for this topic. Idea is I take the live example, and as and when I feel and I see things, I explain. So that's my format. ETH. You see now ETH, for an example, it's not a perfect ascending triangle, but we can say it is more or less uh, an ascending. It's not perfect, but it's pretty close, like this. It's not perfect, as I said, but it's okay. It's not perfect line, it's more like a zone, but we can say this is near breakout, you see. So using this kind of method, you would learn that how you can figure out patterns. So I'm not going to label, but when you see live examples, you can figure it out. I mean, things take time. I mean, this is a learning process, and you will end up learning when you when you have involvement, when you have interest, when you spend some time, then definitely one can acquire the skill. FET survives this support now, as we know. I think it has to return back to this orange box, right? And looks like it's going to take time. This pattern is indicating me that I don't know the future, but I know the pattern. And this is more like this kind of a pattern where it this this level could take long time, but we'll validate. So we'll see what happens. We might have to adjust, but we'll see. And of course, if this is broken, then it's a bad thing from a trend. This is critical level, more or less. Now, FIL, if I have a quiz, what is this? This is double bottom, correct? This is double bottom. So potentially, if this low is the critical level is not broken, right? Of course, something like this we could see. Looks amazing. So yeah, things may take time. This looks like the trajectory for Filecoin. So right now it's more like a surviving mode and attempting, you could say it's trying to break above 3.95, which is very good. Right. So all these levels are stepping stones, and it's going to face some resistance, whatever duration, right? But it's going to face this resistance. So it has to break above R2 to get out of this cluster, because ever since it's this coin has gone through actually deeper correction and a longer correction in terms of duration. Unlike other coins, they made highs in 2021, but this is the coin which actually, yeah, in April 2020, but some coins made high over here as well, right? And there's many coins actually started going down in middle of the 2021 after making new high. So this is a little different, but yeah, look at this one. This complete reset. It started from here in March 2020, and this is a complete reset. If you look at other coins, they didn't come down all the way to March 2020 level. That's why I'm saying this was severe. This was pretty severe. So this is how you can compare, how bad this coin was in terms of price action. Then you can see how many of the top coins, let's say top 50 coins, touched the March 2020 level. And then you will find the Filecoin did, but not many. So that one way to see that Filecoin was not a strong coin during this correction phase. It was beaten up badly, real bad. So some people say fundamentally Filecoin is amazing. Could be, but performance-wise, it was one of the worst one. Why? Because not all the top coins come down to March 2020 level, right? That's a fact. So I believe in the present and the recent past. I don't believe in the future, because the future is always uncertain. We don't know. So very nearby future, like tomorrow, next week, that has some visibility. But as you go further and further, the you see more blurrier vision. So that's how it is. So that's why it's very difficult to say this coin will go 100x or that coin will go 100x. It's impossible to tell. Anyone who is telling is just guessing. Simple. It's not TA. Anyone who's saying this is 100x coin, forget about it. It's just hopium, nothing else. Pure hopium. Because that person, if he is so confident, would actually take loan, probably sell his house, sell everything, and buy that coin. And if you ask, have you done that? Answer is no. Because if that person is saying this is a 100x coin, he should be selling everything, because no other asset, typical asset like stock or real estate or any asset is not going to make 100x. We know that, right? Probabilistically and historically. So those people are really selling opium. And we try to be more pragmatic, more realist here. And that makes sense, because it's okay. We're not excited, but we're happy. No need to be excited, no need to be feared. We should be happy with our trading, with our swing trading, with our trend, and so on. Right? That's enough. Not many times, because excitement, in my point of view, is also negative to me. Some people think that positive. To me, if the sorrow and fear, these are negative, extreme emotion, excitement, exuberance, this kind of, extreme positive, which are also kind of off balance. So both are like two ends of the spectrum, and in my dictionary, both are out of balance emotions. Even we would like to be in middle. Yeah. So anyways, come back to the trend that, see, the Filecoin hasn't proven anything. So maybe it will, who knows? But this is not a star coin from its performance point of view. We'll see if it becomes, right? Look at this, the example. This is March for FTM. And where is the current price? Imagine this coin is somewhere here. That's Filecoin. I'm not going after Filecoin. What I'm trying to say is, sometimes some coins are given very like a lot of importance, but technically speaking, the reality point of view, because I believe everybody is here not to acquire specific coin, but ultimately to gain money. That's my underlying assumption. It's not that people want to showcase their coin on their walls, that hey, I got this many coins. Ultimately, it's about bank balance, right? So from that perspective, with that assumption, I believe one has to compare, look at what the current price, look at the December, look at March, and then compare and see how they're doing. Again, it's not about FTM. You can take any. So this is how one would compare with from a TA point of view, right? Technical analysis point of view. So FTM looking good. Looking good because it's bouncing, right? And we would like it to cross above green for it to change the balance. And right now it's a bit off balance and still within consolidation, because this was pretty deep. But now if there is a good bounce above the green, then I think it will be back in the game from this recent correction. So let's see how it goes. Reacted from support, not a surprise. Prior supports or resistance, I just saw this, I wasn't tracking this. Reacted from this yellow line, reacted at this. This is normal. Look at this consolidation here, look at this attempt here, look at this attempt here, look at this attempt here, look at this support here. You see this level, this is like a roadmap in a way. Yeah. Sometimes some people they make these things so complicated. I would say you need handful of coins, and you need to be aware of the key levels. That's good enough. People go wild sometimes here and there. Okay, so this is also double bottom scenario. When this is a good recovery attempt, the attempt I would call, because it is still below support, prior support. So this is still an attempt. It has to reach at least here, then we can say good, and above this we can say through. RNDR is not so show, it's not showing momentum for last 2 weeks compared to other coins or peers. That is a bit surprising looking at the recent past, or like few weeks or few months of price action. Especially I'm little confused. I should not say confused. I'm little, when I compare, I'm little disappointed that, not emotionally disappointed, but comparatively speaking, if a ranking point of view, I would not expect that our India would do this, but it is doing. So here it is. I mean, we had to take it, you know. So um TA point of view, there's no emotion. What I'm saying is, as a person, you would think that, oh, you know what happened to our India? That kind of thought. That's a normal thought. That's not a not an issue. Yeah, so it is still, this is one of the strongest coins, right? So there's no doubt about what it's trying to do, right? Absolutely no doubt. It's pretty strong. But why it was flat last week, and why it has lost all this gain is baffling. Okay, but it's okay. This is way stronger than any other coin, because this is, forget about December. This is not even close to March level, remember. So this is coin which is comparable to Bitcoin, Ethereum kind of a level. No other coin is of this level from a high cap coin point of view. Most of the coins are near December or even lower sometimes. Okay, Sand coin, a recovery attempt because it's below support. And once it is in the box, I'll say good. And once it is above the green, we'll say, okay, it is through. SOL is attempt is good. I mean, this is good because it's above support. And we know that this is the level we would like to see. So it's recovering. But yeah, I mean, I would draw this line, you know, where it might, yeah, because this is very obvious line, very obvious line. I mean, you don't need to be expert for this one. So I would keep this line and see. So here it will be tested again, and then of course, finally. So all these are trying to recover, and SOL is also in trouble, like BNB and Matic and some other from SEC. We know fundamental issues are there, not with the coins fundamentals, but regulations point of view. So there are attacks. Those attacks could be time being, but could be for many weeks and months, and never know. The XRP case, it has been going on for like forever, and we can say the XRP was beaten up partially because of that. And in fact, didn't make new high in the recent, probably because of that reason, because it remained one of the top coins in terms of market cap, but there was no new high in the last bull run, right? Where so many coins, almost all, made new high because of the legal reaction and not enough support from different some of the exchanges, I believe. So that's what happens with some of these coins. So we are keeping these coins because they are not banned totally, right? They are not banned, so there's no need to remove them. If the exchange is removed, then we don't have a choice but to remove them. But we can say that unless and until the case is over, they are always under pressure. I don't know. Maybe if any other coins are good, maybe we can park these coins which are under scrutiny and replace with those which are not under scrutiny, and get in. If these coins do not move, like all these coins like Matic, SOL, Filecoin, BNB, right? So in that case, you have to see Atom. I probably Atom is also in the list. We'll have to see. For now, we're keeping, we're not removing because they're bouncing. Yeah, with this note, oh yeah, we'll have a quick look at DXY. So DXY went down, as you could see. It attempted here. It attempted last week, you see. So if this next week, if it again comes back to this level, then I would not like it. We'll have to see how then crypto will react to it. That's why I say every week we have to see, because you have to see that this was the low, this is the retest, and then a bounce. But last week it didn't make new low. I mean, it didn't go towards this low. In fact, it bounced. So this was a surprising move. And sometime after breakdown, it tries to break above. That's also true. And so next week we'll come to know if this attempt really ends up with a breakthrough. If yes, and then we'll have to see the impact. Remember, we cannot blindly assume things that if it goes up, then Bitcoin will go down. We cannot assume it, but probabilistically, we cannot ignore it. We have to observe it. And when it kicks in, inverse move, I mean, we have to see, because last week, as you could see, when I say last week means current week for crypto, because crypto goes on for 7 days. For this Friday was the last day. That's why I'm saying last week, right? But from crypto point of view, this is the current week. So DXY went up and BTC bumped. Remember. So this is a live example where both of them went up. Correct? So this is what I was telling earlier as well. So one cannot just blindly say, forget even entire week point of view, forget about days. Some people would try to compare every day, and that was futile. I told so many times, even on a weekly level this could happen, and forget about weekly, sometime for multiple weeks also they could move along in the same direction. Means DXY could go up and also BTC could go up, and vice versa. So these are reference data. Ultimately it boils down to individual coin, and within crypto also some people think the Bitcoin is going down, everything is going down. Yes, in most of the cases, but not all. Sometimes we have to see if anything is diverging, right? So we could find something, and that's how it is. So BTC with respect to alts is also reference data, right? But not always that every day it'll for alt, some alt would follow, not necessarily. Okay, so DXY is like that. Yields are melting, not really crashing. So we'll have to see. So they are slow in reaction because the Fed is giving mixed messages. As you know, that they said this is a skip, not pause, and there can be more hikes. So bond market is holding up. The yields are holding up. They are hoping. So what we can say that the bond market and the stock market are diverging. Forget about crypto for now. I mean, from big picture point of view, they're diverging. Stock market think that this is the last one. They're not going to hike. That's why stock market is rising. And the bond thinks that, okay, I have to be there. Like you see, flat. I have to be there because they may go. The Fed may go raise the interest rate. So it's not giving up. So if Fed says, okay, now we're pausing, then only it's going to go down. So that's why our arrow is below the support, not below the support, and I would extend this support zone. So this is still a scenario where it could go up and then move up. And in that case, it is possible. Then the stock market could also topple. The stock market is in a great position, but you never know. You never know. So you have to be watchful on what Fed. And if, of course, if the Fed doesn't raise, then the stock market speculation. Remember, stock market spot price is always. So it's a funny thing. I learned I mean, of course, I wasn't aware. I always thought futures is about risk management, and it is meant for that. Futures market started with the commodities because of uncertainty, especially farming products. That's how it started for the grains and other farming products, because that's how the future market, because then they can lock price, for the contracts and so on. That was the background. So to avoid the price fluctuation in future, they would lock the price and then trade, and basically, you know plan their business. The spot market, in reality, when I learn more, I realize that the futures market is more like gambling. It's nothing else than casino, because it's not just about price, it's about price at certain time. When you add a time factor, it becomes gambling, in my point of view, especially when it goes into multiple days and weeks. It's nothing else but gambling, because price and time together is impossible to achieve. I mean, there's always 50-50 probability in a market. So it's more like a gambling. So future market to me is not really futures, but gambling like thing. And spot price is actually the futures. And that's why I say that understand the present spot price, because the spot price is actually the futures price. So I keep on saying for that reason, because I firmly believe that the current price is actually a reflection of potential future. And that's why one should not look into what will be the price after 2 months, because that is totally speculative, nothing more than gambling, right? As we don't know about outcome in the gambling, I think it's the same thing. So the present is the reflection of potential future. So the present is if it present is understood, as I can see here, what bond market is telling is it is expecting rate hike. That's why it's holding up. But when the decision comes, this is going to go down. And the stock index is rising since October, and recently even more because of the skip and potential skip. The information always leaks out somehow, and it is going up. But if there is a surprise for any reason, the market is, I would say, how would I express, um basically market could go down anytime in that case. Ruthless. Yeah, it is ruthless. It could drop like anything, and correct, because the assumption is broken. Assumption turns out to be the reality turns out to be different than assumption. So that's what happens. Yeah. So not everything is going up in the stock market or even in crypto is based on fundamentals, but always anticipated price. Especially in crypto, it's everything is speculated. Even in spot market and anywhere, there's no basis of any price of any coin, no real sense. Anyways, I would end here. I believe I covered everything that I wanted. Feel free to ask me if you have any question. Yeah, that's it. So in summary, everything looks good for now. We'll have to see how next week goes, and I think if you get another leg up, then from BTC, that would be wonderful. And oh yeah, one more thing: the BTC dominance has hit the resistance. So in that case, again, when I talk about this, some traders would go after that index and think that track it. Nothing wrong, but don't pay too much of attention on dominance. It's just for reference, right? It's just for reference, because it doesn't mean that all the altcoin will go up. We always will have to selective about coins. That doesn't go away. So, but it's an indicative that not just Bitcoin, but other coin will also get some liquidity. That's how I would interpret. It's not that because the dominance has hit resistance, now I'll just blindly get into altcoin. No, I would not. I mean, if BTC is outperforming, BTC is good. If any coin is outperforming BTC, then that coin is good. But that's as simple as that. because it's about maximizing. Okay. That's it then. See you next week. Thanks, everyone.